Let's see here. Get this here. Y'all give me 1 second. It's a Tuesday night. Get my computer set up. Get over here. Hope my internet doing right. Get this here internet together. Getting a little late, 7:30, 7:38 in Los Angeles. So we got some people still in their 5 o'clock traffic in Los Angeles, but we ain't in Los Angeles. Let me see here. Wanted to pop on here. The night had the Growth Club. Tonight we had a call at 8:30 to 10:30, and tomorrow night is the Life Coaches Mastermind. But tonight we did the Growth Club. Shout out to all the members in the Growth Club. It's our monthly group coaching. Right now we're in the summer of success, so we dealing with finances and just adding streams of income, making more money. And so we got here Blanca Rosa. She in the Growth Club, so she going from there to here. And see, that's a blessing right there. Laura Rice, God bless you for joining the Blessed Tribe. For those of y'all who not in the Blessed Tribe, you'll see the button under the video that says join, and it's the Blessed Tribe, and you have the Blessed Business Tribe. The Blessed Business Tribe is, business videos, but I still try to post business videos to the main page. But just did a 2-hour call. I don't really feel too tired. I ain't gonna be on here too long because I want to try to get home and catch my wife before she get to sleep, just so I could bother her a little bit. Well, really, so she could bother me. She be pranking me and stuff all day, every day. And that's something interesting about my wife. She love to play around. I don't like to play around. So when I don't feel like playing, I just make her mad. Find something to say to get on the nerves, because then when she mad, she don't bother me. But if she not mad, well, I'm getting wedgies. I'm getting slapped on the booty. I'm getting humped. I'm getting picked up. Like, she just love to wrestle and play. So I'm gonna get home and try to catch her before she get to bed. New York City, coming up there Saturday. So if you happen to see this here video, I got the link for the event in my bio, and I posted it on the community page. So it's a relationship event Saturday for singles and couples, and I think it's at 11 a.m. Me and my wife flying in Friday night. She don't go to my events. Her sister is in New York, so she coming up. She gonna be hanging with her sister, but she come up, be my accountability partner. And if you get a ticket for Saturday, I'm trying to see if I could find somewhere where we could meet up and have dinner. Now, you got to pay for your own dinner now, but the restaurant's so small. My wife was telling me to do like an Airbnb, but New York is weird on that too. So If one of y'all New Yorkers know somebody who own a restaurant and you bought a ticket, let me know. Send me an email. It's 11 to 5. I love my fro. So you must be going. I love my fro. So y'all make sure y'all get y'all tickets for New York. Y'all come on in, see the city, drive on in, or bring you a train. And I want to pop on here. No, TR, I just said it's 7:30 in LA to make myself feel better about being on here this time. Sister Sage, we just got started. So when I reached out to ask if you need assistance, no, I don't think I need assistance, but if you coming to the event, they may have I don't plan to have a book table, but the VIP guests get a copy of my book. So I don't think I would need assistance. Do you live in New York? Because what you could do is email me some restaurant ideas or something, or things like that. And then it's 11 to 5 Saturday. Let me know Saturday. I might need to get in the club Saturday night. Nah, I ain't gonna go out. But if it's anything cool to see Saturday night, I'm thinking maybe we may have dinner with VIPs after the event. I'm not sure. But I say good morning from London. What time is it in London, Anna? I thought London like 5 hours ahead of me. You are late. Oh, okay, you volunteering at the event. Wow, okay, awesome. Awesome. Now I wanted to pop on here tonight because some of y'all, wow, Anna, God bless you. 4 a.m. over there, 3:43. No, I don't do events, to be honest with you. I don't accept events. Honestly, I only accepted this one because it was from a young man who has a passion for helping in the relationship space. So that's the only reason why I accepted the event. I don't normally do events with other speakers because, as y'all see, with the other relationship coach who got exposed, you never know how people are living. So I normally only do my own events, or if it's like somebody who they want to bring me to their city, but it's me doing the keynote at their church or at the hotel ballroom and I'm the speaker. I don't normally get on the stage with other people because I don't know how other people live their life. And I never want to introduce somebody to somebody else who ain't living right or they're a scam artist. Cause I take that stuff real serious. But wanted to pop on here tonight because some of y'all sent me a video of the gentleman. He went on the podcast about the future wifey podcast, and the other life coach who got exposed for cheating went on the video and was talking. And I saw a lot of comments, talking about, that he's a narcissist and all of that. And I don't like to talk about people. I don't like to bash people. But it's been a lot more men showing up on my page and showing up in the comments. And they'll be calling me 2.0 of him, meaning like the second coming or the person that after, him not realizing that I was doing this 5 to 7 years before he started doing it and that he's younger than me. But the thing about it is I don't clout chase. Like I don't like to do videos with celebrity names in it. I do it if it's something that everybody keep asking me about, but I don't like to do videos with celebrity names in it. And that's honestly how he built his brand. He did videos with celebrity names, and then the blog sites, I don't even say the name of the blog site, even though everybody know the name of the blog site, the blog page on Instagram. I don't even say their name because I don't even like to give no pub to the negativity. But anytime I would be sent a post from that blog site, I would see him in the comments. And so he would go and make a witty comment and get thousands of likes. And so naturally, a black man speaking with some sense and saying something that sound really good and really thoughtful, really conscious, it's going to get a lot of people to go follow him. And I have never once to this day commented on that blog gossip Instagram page. Never once. But I have insight on stuff as a professional that if I went and commented on the post that these blog sites make, I probably would have crossed 1 million people on Instagram a long time ago, like everybody else has. But I don't go comment on blog posts for attention and for clout. And I definitely, honestly, would not do that. I can do it because I live the right way. But I definitely would not be commenting on stuff and drawing attention to myself if I was cheating on my wife. And we have this society to where I want to tell the men, I just wrote a book for men over the weekend. And I'm going to release it, Lord willing, here soon within a couple months. But we have a lot of men today, and it's really sad for men, and especially black men, that we can't believe in other black men. That when black men see a representation of a faithful black man, most black men always start to think that they start to think about, oh, must be a fraud. This person must be a fake. And that right there, thought process, it just speaks to the where our mind is at. And I don't know who this is. I don't know if that was a Virgin Mary. If that was a typo, but I got blocked for it. Talking about you so divisive. I don't know if she meant decisive or discerning, but learn how to spell because you got blocked. And that right there, Virgin Mary had a comment talking about you so divisive. That was a bot that paid to hate. And that's what I'm talking about that's happening today. Because why would you name your page Virgin Mary? That's Jesus' mama. So why would you come on here with blasphemy? And we got moderators on here. Caramel Kisses on here, and she ain't even see it. She ain't even get to see it. So that right there is what I'm telling y'all, that the message is starting to spread, and it's more and more kooks and cucks coming. And I don't even know what the words mean that's coming on here, that people paying to hate. So this person signed up to be in the blessed tribe, to be a troll in the comments. But that's how you know my foot on the devil's neck. And then it was a man yesterday who talking about, when I talked about how men are switching it up today and men becoming too feminine, the man gonna come in the comments talking about, I probably have been confused or called zesty for decades, when I ain't never once in my life been called zesty. The only time is when ignorant people who think a man with colored eyes is homosexual, because some people are stupid enough to think that if your eyes are a different color than the norm, then you must be gay. And so now when somebody, I had to block another lady because I'm talking on the deception of men who are sleeping with men, but trying to also have a woman. And men is getting into so much pornography. So now with me speaking on it, people talking about, oh, I must be guilty of it because I'm speaking on it. That's the dumbest thing in the world, because when you are an authentic person, if you going through something, you're going to go through it in the dark. I ain't going to talk to y'all about what I'm going through. I'm going to teach a lesson on what the people are dealing with. But I'm going to win my battles in the dark. I ain't finna be on here talking about it. Like when I did the video on one thing that every man wants but rarely asks for, and I talked about affection. People talking about, oh, he must be talking about his wife. He must be talking about his wife. And I'm like, and I'll be honest with you, it was the end of the month. And I said, hey, I need a video that's going to hit, because the algorithm is acting crazy. So let me use this title. So that was a clickbait kind of title. The topic was a real topic, but I knew what topic would get interest or how to word it. That's a real thing that men are talking about, and that men coming to me and saying, hey, I want more affection. People go to assuming that because you in the limelight, that what you talking about yourself. And that's because we don't believe, we have such a poor self-image that we don't believe in vessels. We don't believe in somebody being able to lay their life on the line, to sacrifice themselves for the greater good of the people. We don't believe that somebody could come and help others and it not be about themselves, because we have a poor self-image. And so we think that everything somebody talking about, they have to be talking about themselves. And so we down so bad that when I'm talking about the deception of bisexual men deceiving women, then you got all these idiots in the comments, oh, you must be talking about yourself. You must be talking about yourself. It's like, that's the dumbest thing in the world. And these blue light glasses, now, for those of y'all that think both of us got vision problems. These blue light, I got perfect vision 2015. And so I have to talk about this stuff because lives is on the line. So when I'm doing more and more coaching sessions about women going in their man phone and finding videos of their man with another man, I got to bring that up. I got to talk about that. And so I was talking to my wife about it the other day. I say, man, look at these comments and stuff I'm getting. And she just go to laughing. She just think it's so funny that me talking on certain topics is having people call me gay or call me whatever it is. My wife just think it's so funny when I go to her mad. Because me personally, I'm going to be honest with you. I come from a place where you'll lose your life for calling somebody out their name. Like, you really get the flow mop with you for calling somebody out their name, for calling somebody something that they ain't. So, and it ain't even that the person guilty of it, but I have to address what's going on in society. And it was crazy to see when the young man went out on that podcast. I just watched a snippet of where he talking about something about he aggressive. Only time he aggressive with women is sexually. And that was what the video was about. That's all I watch. I don't have the patience, so I can't watch the conversation, because I could tell if somebody full of it, and I just ain't got the time. I sent it to my wife. I said, oh, look at this. She texted me back. She said, I literally could only watch 1 second. Just so I can't listen to that man talk. And so I was like, okay, well, I ain't got nobody to talk about this here with then. But it just showed me how, and there was a lot of women who was like, oh, you know, This is a narcissist talking. This is a narcissist talking. I don't talk on all of that right there. Narcissist, because that's a clinical term. So you got to really study it and really learn about it to label somebody a narcissist. I don't play with labels because I'm not a clinician. And so you have to really study this stuff, because we get to a place to where we can look at something, we can look at symptoms for a disease and feel like we got that disease just because we feeling one of them symptoms. So the same thing with narcissism. A lot of times people are looking and they seeing this symptom, and this might be something that every human has exhibited, and they will label somebody full-fledged narcissist. So I don't play with labels like that. And I'll be honest with you, this is something that's always kind of shocking to women, but I try to help women understand this. What women describe as a narcissist is almost every man I've ever met. So the word might as well just be male versus narcissist. It might as well be male, because if a woman has had more than one relationship, a lot of women can tell you that pretty much every man do the same thing. Pretty much every man does the same thing. So a lot of times when a woman is describing a narcissist, that pretty much was done by every other man. And it's just, we don't know, because we're not necessarily privy to multiple relationships, like real long-term relationships. So that's why we have to understand that a lot of this stuff that we seeing out here is just human behavior that is under the influence of the devil, just under a demonic influence. And you gotta protect yourself, and you gotta be mindful, but you got to make sure that you don't buy into the pessimism. And one of the things that is very alarming to me is the fact that black men don't believe in black men in healthy spaces. Like, black men will look at a black man who making money and believe it. But it's very sad that black men can't look at a black man who is trying to help and live an honest lifestyle as a faithful husband and believe that there's such a thing as a black male who is a faithful husband. That's the sad part. And so we have to realize that, Miracle, but the clinical term applies to someone who would not change even when their behavior causes them to lose in different aspects of their life. And that is also majority of men. And that's what I'm saying is, that's why they say cheaters don't change. That's why they say a leopard don't change his spots. So it's like this right here. This man went on this podcast and he sound like to the women that he's still not accepting accountability. And guess what? It's like, how many men do you see actually apologize and then make the right changes? And so because of that, that's the sad part, is that we don't have enough changing. And being that we don't have enough changing, we can't really believe in each other that this person is a good person. And we have to then pedestalize other races and believe that they are good and they are better, because we can't believe in ourselves because of what we saw our family members do. And we're like, if our family members will do this, then who can I trust of my race? And that's why you see so many black celebrities hire white staff because of the poor self-image of their own race, of themselves and their own race. And that's where we struggling at in a lot of ways. But now we seeing, you know, we coming into a place to where if you bold in your stance and what you believe and how you living, you can't even be believed in that stance because we see so much fraud and so many fakes. And we don't even know the real from the fake anymore. We can't tell the real from the fake. I can't tell you how many men that come over here and call me such and such 2.0 to where they can't even watch a video or watch a couple videos and tell the difference between a real and a fake. And that's how sad that it's getting. And it's gonna take more men standing up and being men. And it's gonna take more men talking to men, and specifically black men talking to men. And one of the things that we're not doing is holding each other accountable. We're not holding each other accountable to the point to where we have men checking men. And then when men check men, this other men that'll come and say, oh, you being too hard on men. And that's why it's getting sad out here. Samantha say, does believing my husband is a narcissist mean that I am against him or I don't love him? No, it don't mean that you're against them or that you don't love them, because we could have people in our family that is something and we still love them and we still on their side. My thing is if you marry a narcissist, then what does it say about the process that you went through and your discernment and your own self-image? And then I know people will say, oh, well, they sneaky and they conniving and they this and they that. But again, that's literally every man. Every man is sneaky. When I say every, I mean a majority. I mean 90%. So it's like, how many men done talk the woman out her drawers? Like, how many men make a habit of talking a woman out her drawers? And so we have to understand that, it's not as deep as we want it to be. And sometimes when we going through something, we start grasping for straws and we looking for something that could put a bow on it. We want that balm, that aid, and that band-aid, and we'll start to grabbing that stuff. And so we have to be very careful, especially in a marriage, that you very careful with the labels. And so we have to, really think through these things. Hey, now remember, New York City, I'll be there this Saturday. Make sure you grab your tickets. It'll be a different experience. Me up there on the stage talking to you. And I put the link for the ticket Saturday in New York are on the community page on YouTube and on my bio and Instagram and on my story and on a reel, all that. So if you're near New York City, come on out this Saturday, join us, and have your good old time. Meet you some folks, shake some hands. But this is where we at right now. We in this state of where we self-sabotaging and we working against ourselves. And I'm gonna tell you, whenever you see somebody online, you got to take your time. You got to take your time. You got to watch people. You can't put anybody online on a pedestal. You got to watch people for years. Get what you could get the knowledge you could get, but keep your eyes open. Sapphire, God bless you. Thank you for joining the Blessed Tribe. Get the information you can get, and you got to take your time. because what'll happen is we'll have a lot of people that'll get online and it's solely for the money. They see the money and they coming for the money. And that's why they showing up, because they think, oh, that look like money. And what a lot of people don't realize is that I was the first relationship coach online. Like when I was doing it, they ranked the top 100 black men online. I was number 25. And out of that top 100, I was the only relationship coach. So the relationship coaches that y'all know of, that y'all would put in the same sentence with me, in 2010, not a single one of them men, any man that you would say that is a relationship coach or a life coach, when Black Web 2.0 ranked the top 100 black men on Twitter in 2010, which was my second year on Twitter. I started Twitter in 2009. When they ranked the top 100 black men, I was number 25. And I was working a job making $9.50 an hour. I was working a job making $9.50 an hour. Jennifer, God bless you. Thank you for joining the Blessed Tribe. Sasha, God bless you. Thank you for joining the Blessed Tribe. And people just assume that relationship coaching make all this money. And here I was, the first relationship coach. When I became a life coach, nobody knew what a life coach was. When I became a life coach, there was only one life coach certification program that existed on Google. And that's how new it was. Nobody knew what a life coach was when I became a life coach in 2007. The life coaches at that time was like Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, and they didn't do one-on-one sessions. There was not even a thing as a black life coach. There really was, and not none that was viral. So when they ranked the top 100 black men on Twitter, it was based on our retweetability. I was number 25, and not a single relationship coach or life coach that you see today on YouTube or Instagram was in that top 100. I was in that top 100 with rappers and athletes and comedians. Behind me, number 26 was Lil Duval. And y'all know how viral Lil Duval is. Charlemagne from Breakfast Club, I don't think he was on there. LeBron James was number one. Here I was working, making $9.50 an hour, and I was the number 25 most powerful black man on Twitter in 2010. So this is what I try to help y'all understand is I was doing this before people turned it into a business. Before there was any way to make money on it, I was doing this. And we have men today that's coming and calling me 2.0 because they didn't know that it's some of us that actually do it and are in the trenches and not clout chasing. Like even to this day, I still got to tighten my game up and start using thumbnails. I still don't even use custom thumbnails on my videos. And that's another way to grow. But I don't do it because I'm not in a hurry or a rush to grow. I want to grow organically because I'm going to say a lot of stuff that could get me canceled by certain groups and organizations. So I don't want to just blow up. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. Even though I've been married 16 years, I'm still working on my marriage. I'm still becoming a better husband, becoming a better father. Every day I look at myself as a husband and a father and who I was yesterday as a husband and a father and say, how can I get better? So that's why I'm not commenting on the gossip blogs, Instagram pages, trying to go viral and get attention, because I only want the attention that God sent me organically. I don't want to chase any attention. That's why I don't pay for ads and stuff for my books and all of that. Now, this next book for men, I'm finna be running ads for that nonstop. I need to sell 1 million copies of that, because I need that book there. I wrote the book in 2 days. I wrote 80 pages on Microsoft Word. So in book form, that could turn into 160 pages. And I'm up here, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have to get this to air, man, because that right there gonna help us for the men who want help. And this what you have to see. You have to be able to take your time, and you got to be able to separate the wheat from the tares. You got to be able to tell the real from the fake. You got to be able. And that's going to take time. And what people is they lumping everybody in on the same thing. I was just in Miami. It's all kind of booties and thongs and everything in Miami. I went to the room at the Fontainebleau, and y'all think it's called Fontainebleau. It's actually Fontaine. It's F-O-N, not F-O-U-N. And I went to the Fontainebleau, and that's where I wrote my book at. I got there on Friday. I went in that room. I did not shower, and I did not leave the room until Monday. And God birthed the book through me over that weekend. And I wrote Saturday and I wrote Sunday. And I wrote that book for men. And I'm finna put money behind this book and push this book to no end. And the reason why I'm gonna push this book to no end is because I might even raise money for it, to market it, and to do billboards through Atlanta, billboards in Houston, billboards in Los Angeles, in New York, in Indianapolis, everywhere, bus stop benches, everywhere. And I'm gonna push this book to men, to every man who see it, either buy it or get bought for them. And the reason being is because men today believe that there are no real, genuine voices that want to help men, that want to see men grow. And the men that men want to follow are men who are going to bash women. And then men get mad if a man is protecting women or educating women. And see, if a man take the time and watch my message, a man will see that I never excuse women. There have been people that have come on my page, women that have come on my page and in the comments said that my message is the same as the man who died, who used to do the podcast, and all the men be clapping when he ripping a woman a new one. This women that's told me my message the same as his. Now, how dumb is that? And you know why? It's because they bumped into a video that was holding women accountable. So they took holding a woman accountable as bashing a woman. And then men bump into a video holding men accountable, and they take that as bashing men. And that shows the problem with our society is that we don't want to be checked. We don't want to grow. We don't want the message to sit in our lap, to step on our toes. We don't want that. And so this was happening in our world. And we starting to lose because of it. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say something at some point that's going to offend somebody. Because it's not all the time that I'm going to be speaking from the right place. And that's why I tell y'all, you have to take your time when you listening to people because you got to see where people speaking from. Now, all of us gonna speak from the wrong place. I just seen a video of another young man who he on a podcast and he's on the video and he was saying, I don't need God to buy a house. He was like, God already blessed me with the provision. So what he understand is that when he was saying God bless him with a provision, that means he needed God to buy the house. But then he was saying, I don't need God to buy the house if I got the money and the credit and I'm set up. I don't need to be praying, Lord, bless with the house, bless with the house, bless with the house. And if I got to pray, bless with the house, bless with the house, bless with the house, then that means I don't need the house. Well, there's a lot of people in the comment, they took offense to that, saying you don't need God. Because sometimes you may have everything in one man said we had everything, but we was up against other people, so we needed God's favor. And so now I know the man personally. I went on his podcast. I know he's not a bad man, but when you talk for a living, you're going to say something from the wrong spirit, from the wrong place, or in the wrong way. You're going to misspeak. And then people who don't speak for a living, Lady Nottingham, God bless you. Hopefully this ain't the lady who I just blocked and came back with one of these interesting names. And the people who don't speak for a living, they sit back and just watch somebody speak for hours, waiting on somebody to say one thing that they could write them off for. And that's the world we live in. But people don't think about that. That when you in the light, what you got to understand about the limelight is the limelight going to shine on your flaws too. People don't realize that. But so that's why you got to be able to watch somebody and see where their spirit is, see where they operating. Because anybody that's in the public eye is also going to go through spiritual warfare. That's why you see some of these mega pastors go through a divorce, or they get caught cheating on their wife, because they in the light and they are ministering to other people and holding other people accountable and trying to help other people. But who's ministering to them? Who is helping the helper? Who is listening to the listener? Who is speaking to the speaker? So we dealing with human beings. And that's why when the other relationship coach, and I try my best not to speak names because this stuff live on forever. So that's why I don't like speaking names, because I don't want nobody name in my video 50 years from now. And somebody might not even, they may fall completely from the face of the earth because they were fake and they was a fraud, and God exposed them and their name get wiped from the history books. Well, if I come on here and I said their name, I just etched their name in history. Because if I remain faithful and righteous, God is going to elevate me. So if I got somebody else name in my mouth who done fell by the wayside, if I'm speaking their name, I'm elevating their name too. So that's why I may speak of the person and not say their name, because I don't know what they're going to do with their life. And I don't want what they do to taint what I'm doing. And that's wisdom that God gave me. Nobody told me that. That's what God gave me. And so what you have to realize is, even when you work for God, sometimes we operate from the wrong space and we speaking from the wrong space. And what you also have to realize is we all are human too. So when you human and you come from nothing, like the gentleman who was saying he don't need God to buy a house. Well, I know that gentleman from when he was broke. I know that gentleman when he had no money. So when you get money and you practically become a millionaire, you go through a season of arrogance. Even if God blessed you with it, you go through a season of arrogance. You go through a season of worshiping your money. That's why the Bible say that it'll be easier for a camel to fit through the eye of the needle than it will be for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Because when you get money, you will end up praying to your money instead of praying to God. And you will lean on your money to solve your problems. So when we building brands and we out here in the public eye, we go through seasons and bouts of arrogance and ignorance because we start to believe our own hype. And so with the gentleman, the other relationship coach who got caught cheating on his wife and went through the divorce, I didn't, whenever he would always speak celebrity names, I always realized, I always thought that was a bad idea. Because I'm like, now when you're speaking on other people, you're going to introduce spiritual warfare into your life. And when you introduce spiritual warfare into your life, you got to have everything sold up. You got to have everything in order. And so I go through spiritual warfare as well. And what I have to do is when I'm going through spiritual warfare, I have to then go within and I got to go to God. And if I need to communicate, I got to communicate with my wife and I got to let her know, hey, I'm in a battle right now. I'm going through spiritual warfare right now. You know, I'm going through this thing real. And I will take and make bad decisions financially or in business. And God done blessed me with everything. He done gave me everything I need. But if I operate from my flesh, if I operate from a place that is not godly stewardship, then I will get myself in a bind that God ain't had nothing to do with. And then I may have to lose some things and go through some things to get that lesson. And when I get that lesson, I embrace that lesson. And I learn from that lesson. And I say, okay, the next time I get in position, I'm going to make the right choice. And so what happened is we seeing relationship coaches and people of the likes get into a position and they get full of themselves and not full of God. And then they make decisions based on themselves and their own flesh and their own greed and their own lust and wanting to stunt and shine and be admired by men. They make bad choices and then have to pay the price publicly. And then some people are so sick that they will then use God falsely and fraudulently to be redeemed in the eyes of man. And so we have to understand this. And if you sit back and you watch, you'll be able to tell when the people you watching are in spiritual warfare. You'll be able to tell when you need to pray if you're a prayer warrior. You'll be able to tell. And this book that I just wrote for men, it felt simple because I wrote an 80-page book in 2 days. So that let me know God wrote that book through me. That was God breathed. That was inspired. And that although it's not earth-shattering or groundbreaking, there's power in the words, and men captives are going to be set free. So I'm going to market it and promote it to no end because I never do that. And I never do it because, let me tell you why I never market my books. Because it's like this right here. If you go into the marketplace and you selling something that's authentic and somebody take and knock off what you selling and it look just like what you selling, you're going to start to feel bad and ashamed about selling what you selling because somebody else is selling a knockoff that look just like it. So if I go and I buy something that's authentic and I spend $1,000 on an authentic painting and then a knockoff get made of that painting and everybody go spend $10, my painting no longer gonna have the value. So the books that God gave me to help speak into the life of women, I couldn't promote it. I couldn't promote it because fakes and frauds popped up. So if I'm promoting a book that is God breathed for women from the male perspective, that's saying, hey, I'm gonna give you this game because this the game that you falling for. So I'm gonna teach you this game so you don't keep falling for this game. Well, when a fraud come up and start teaching a game that sound very similar, now the men can tell the real from the fake. So whereas the men look at me and say, man, this man, he been married 16 years, X amount of years, and he giving away so much game, he gotta be being faithful. But then when they see this man over here pop up, and then they see him cheating in the club, or they hear tell of him cheating, or he cheating with their cousin, or he cheating with their ex-girlfriend, or they know he fornicating, or they know he adulterating. Now they come and say, well, if I know for a fact this guy over here is a fraud, and he's saying the same type of stuff as Tony Gaskins, then Tony Gaskins must be a fraud too. And then that's how the devil works. Whenever God send clarity, the devil send confusion. Now, ain't nobody put that together. Them two things, now I see people all talking about clarity and confusion. And that's the thing about when you come with an authentic word from God, like what I put in this book that I just wrote for men, when you come with an authentic word from God, people who are not working for God, but who clout chase and who brand build, they will go to the public with your message before you get to the public. And so it's a lot of speakers and teachers that are bigger than me in following, and they're using the teachings that God gave me. But they follow me like a shadow, because a demon know God. So somebody that is working for dark forces can easily identify somebody who is working for God. So the men who are frauds, they follow me like a shadow. But what they're going to do is they're going to see what I'm not doing. So they're going to say, okay, Tony is not using custom thumbnails on his videos. So I'm going to use custom thumbnails, and I'm going to take his message and emulate it, spin off of it, but I'm going to use custom thumbnails. They say they're going to use custom thumbnails. They're going to use a full description box. They're going to use all the keyword tags, and they're going to do everything you're supposed to do so that they will get more impressions and more click-throughs and more views, but they literally doing it with my message. I heard a woman. There was a woman who got a video that she said, this is what I do. Now, mind you, this woman taught. She said my exact teaching. She said when a man asks her, because I teach, if a man asks you, what are you looking for in a man? That a woman should say, I'll know when I see it. And do not tell that man what you're looking for in a man, because if you read a man your script, he will play a role. If you read a man your script, he will pick the superstar, the star character, and he will play a role until he gets the Oscar. And then he will dump you and go to the next movie. So the next casting director, the next director. And so the lady, you'll see her, she a brown skinned lady. She looked probably in her late 20s, early 30s. She said when she meet a man, she don't, and he asked her, what you looking for a man? She tell him, I know it when I see it, or just be yourself. And she say, I don't tell him what I'm looking for because he'll play that role. That's my teaching verbatim. But see, I'm a man who played the game. If women already knew that, then no woman would get played. So I'm coming and giving the game, but guess what? Because black male relationship coaches have been bashed so bad because of the frauds. This lady can't even say, I learned from Tony Gaskins. This how you handle a first date with a man who asks you what you looking for in a man. Now, I seen another lady who her video went viral. She Muslim. I'm Christian. That show you how the message cross over. Her video went viral, and she said, I talked to my homegirl, and my homegirl told me this thing that Tony Gaskins told her, and it's called the 3 Bs. Now, she quoted me because that to copy my 3 Bs, brain, brand, body, that would have just been too much plagiarism. But guess what? Another lady who a reality star, she go on a big podcast and she say, I live by the 3 Bs. And she came up with 3 other Bs. So what people will do is they'll get a message and they'll change one word. They'll change one word. And then they'll run with it, because what the adversary has always done, the adversary has always emulated the work of God. So when they said 7 is completion, so 7 is God's number, the devil took and said 6 is his number. When they said that the cross represents Christ, the devil took and turned the cross upside down as a satanic image. See, where God brings clarity, the devil brings confusion. So when God sends somebody who is real, who is really living it, who is authentic, the devil going to take and send a clone. He's going to send a carbon copy. He's going to send somebody who look just like what God sent. And this person over here is to divide the audience. They are to divide the message, because somebody will look at me and say, well, I don't like Tony Gaskins because he doesn't have locks. So I'm going to follow this coach over here because he has locks. And locks represent strength or rebellion from the system. So I'm going to follow this coach because he has locks. And Tony Gaskins don't have a thick beard. So I'm going to follow this relationship coach because he has a thick beard. And I'm going to follow this relationship coach also because he got locks and a thick beard, but he also single. So if I comment enough on his post, women think they're going to get seen and going to get chosen by this single relationship coach. And then they'll say, well, I'm going to go follow this guy over here in his podcast because he's single. And so it don't benefit me to follow Tony Gaskins because he's married. So me supporting him and me being in his comments don't benefit me because he can't choose me from me showing up in his comments. And they say, well, I'm going to go follow this guy over here because he never showed a wife and he got muscles. So I'm going to follow him. And then some women will say, well, I'm going to follow this coach over here because he's older. He's an older man and I didn't have a father in my life. So I'm going to follow him because he represents a father. And I'm not going to follow Tony Gaskins because he looked like the guy that cheated on me or that beat on me. He looked like the guy that lied to me. He looked like the guy that played me. So I ain't going to follow Tony Gaskins because he probably full of it. Because he looked like a player. Because he said he was a player. So I'm going to follow this guy over here who I don't like nothing about how he looked. But so he don't trigger any trauma that I done went through. So this is how people pick and choose who they listen to. So you'll have somebody that never hurt, that you ain't never did nothing to, that you ain't never said nothing wrong, that you ain't never showed no kind of sign of being a fake or a fraud, and they won't listen to you or respect your message because of their own trauma. And what they don't realize is they will go and be trauma bonded. What they don't realize is that the same thing that's in them that's making them pass on a good man and end up with a dog is the same thing that's making them not listen to a real and authentic coach or mentor or speaker or author or teacher or pastor and go to a fraud because their spirit, they still have not been renewed. They still have not healed from their trauma. So they are trauma attracted to a fraud. And they go to a fraud and they literally will be in a, as y'all would call it, narcissistic relationship with a coach or a pastor or a teacher or a author or a speaker who is the very thing that they're trying to get away from. But because it is no longer their ex-boyfriend or their ex-husband and is packaged as a teacher, they will go to that teacher. But the teacher has the same attributes, not attributes, the same flaws and the same shortcomings as the person, the man that they left. And then here's the thing. Men will do the same thing. Men will go and pick a man to follow that makes them feel comfortable in their strengths and does not challenge them in their weakness. So if a man comes over here and he is challenged and he is called out and he doesn't want to be challenged and he doesn't want to be called out. If a man come over here and he hears that I try to protect women and I try to inform women on the games men play, and this man has intentions of manipulating and deceiving his woman, he don't want to listen to me. And he don't want his woman listening to me because he know I'm going to shine a light into his darkness. He know I'm going to expose the game that he's playing. And he knows that if his woman listens to him and listens to me, it's not going to be long before she can tell who is the real man and who isn't. And so that's why he will ban his woman from listening to my message, because he knows his life does not line up with that message. And so what he will go and do, this man who is in a relationship will go and follow a man who is skewing the relationship to his advantage. So there are men who teach on men having an advantage in the relationship. And what I come to do is to level the playing field so that a man is serving his woman and a woman is serving her man, so that the love is equally reciprocated. But there are a lot of men who teach on men having the advantage. So they will tell a woman to suppress her needs and suppress her wants and her desires and her feelings and to cater to her man because he earns a certain amount of money, or to forsake her feelings and her self-worth or her standards because she's had a child. So there are men who teach these messages. So a man who does not want to be held accountable, a man who does not want to change, he will then go to this other man and listen to this man and send that man's messages. He'll send that man messages to his woman because this man is teaching an advantage for a man. And you see how we just talked about God number and the devil number, and then YouTube algorithm set to where when it get on the devil number, it gets stuck. When that number fluctuate all the time, they got it set where it get on the devil number, it gets stuck. That's how you realize we living in what the devil around here running. And so this man, he'll take and say, oh, it's too much accountability over here. It's too much looking out for women over here. It's too much caring about what women think and what women feel and what women need. It's too much of that. I'm going over here where this man, all he talk about is the man being the king, the man being catered to, the man being praised, a woman sleeping with a man anytime he get ready, a woman doing this for a man, doing that for a man. My woman need to hear this. So the man will start to shoot that to his woman, give her those messages. And then what that woman start to do, she start to look at that and say, wow, man, so if this man is saying this, and this man got all these millions of followers, then he must be right. So let me do this. And then this woman will take and go against everything she is, everything she knows, because of this message that her man sent her from this man online. This message that's catering to him instead of leveling the playing field. So see, this is where we have so many frauds. So to be honest with you, but the thing about it is like you got to do what people know you for. So if I could come on here and talk about entrepreneurship because I'm an entrepreneur, but the algorithm don't know me for being an entrepreneur. The algorithm know me for relationship advice. So if I want my message to be heard, if it's an entrepreneurship video, I literally have to title it a relationship video and then be talking about business. So if you see me have to start doing that, then you'll know why. Because they'll shut down every other message because they put you in a certain type of message. And then also, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't want to talk on relationships. Reason why I just did a video that I'm going to upload later, it got cut off because my alarm went off, so it cut it off short. But I don't want to talk on relationships because I'm in a relationship. And whatever you speak on, that's where you invite spiritual warfare into your life. So that's why I don't want to talk on relationship, but I have to sacrifice myself and my relationship. And I got to have my relationship in spiritual warfare in seasons so that I can help millions of other people. Because I know what I'm speaking on, the devil going to try to attack me. And so he's going to try to make me more tempted, seeing more different things out there that could trip me up. He's going to try to get in my wife's head with certain toxic messages that she may see online. And he's going to try to test us to where I have to be very diligent and I got to be a perfect man. My message holds me accountable to where if I'm not being a perfect man, then my relationship going to go through more spiritual warfare than the people I'm trying to help. So I have to pretty much be now by what you would call a perfect man so that my relationship can flee the devil's attacks in spiritual warfare. So that's why I don't like speaking on relationships. But I have to do it because if I remove my voice from the space, then it's going to be so much foolishness and so much idiocracy that there will be millions of people that's being led astray, that's being sent down the wrong way, and they have no one to balance the scales in a very real and blunt and direct way. Because a lot of times people don't hear when you too soft-spoken, when the message is too play, when it's too touching around, bouncing around, beating around the bush. A lot of times people don't hear that. So what God gonna do is he gonna realize certain people gonna be in different situations. So he gonna raise up a man who speaks gentle and calm and collected and gentle. And then he gonna raise up a man like me that's gonna be blood raw all the way real all the way in your face with the truth. They're gonna stomp on your toes at times. And then he gonna raise us up. And then he gonna raise up different women who may, which I haven't really seen a lot of women that is giving relationship advice that makes sense to me as a man. I've seen some women that's teaching women how to, submit and stuff like that, but that is also dangerous because a man could play on that. A dog will play on that. A grown boy will play on that, and that could become dangerous. So it's some women that's teaching on submission, but they may have a safe, godly husband, and they giving this message to women who may not have that same type of covering, that same type of man. And Aria, God bless you. And so I have to balance the scales, and I got to level the playing field to reach where people may be at, because I realize the power of a message. And so we have to come to this place to where we start to use discernment. And so I'm also going to have to shift my message for the ladies. You got to understand that my message also have to shift at times to talk to the men. And if you're a woman and you see me talking to a man, be quiet. Because if you come in the comments, when I talk to him with the truth, he gonna feel like I punched him in the eye. So when he bent over and grabbed that eye, that spiritual eye that I just punched him in with the truth, if a bunch of women come in the comments, get them, Tony, get them. Yeah, tell them. Talk to these sorry, no good men. What that represents spiritually is women coming in, elbowing them, uppercutting them, power driving them, body slamming them, DDTing them, chokehold. So now the man come to hear a real man who married, who faithful, who living what he teach, but then he get beat up on by a whole bunch of women who is angry with their ex or angry with the state of men. So they jump into the conversation, and now it's no longer a safe space for the man. So now what the man does is he then runs to refuge with a single man who is not married, but giving relationship advice, who's giving skewed, ignorant, selfish, biased advice. Because when he came to a real man is also going to attract women to his message, as well as men who want to be real men to his message. But if a man who is hanging in the balance and he's a grown boy, he get beat up, he gonna run over there to the red pill, to the MGTOW, to the manosphere, where he is being given tips and tools to have leverage on a woman, instead of understanding that as a real man, his gentleness is his strength with a woman, and that he don't have to manipulate and deceive and connive, that he could be real and he could be authentic and he could be a real man who stands his ground, who speaks his mind in love and in respect, and who can get respect from a woman without having to abuse her or control her or deceive her. But see, he can't hear that if it's a bunch of women beating him up in the comments while he trying to get off the ground. They kicking him in the head. And see, that's the problem with our society. But see, the messages like this, the sound bites like this, don't go viral. These don't go nowhere. So we just see all of this gender war on every post that could be beneficial to us as a people. Everybody just be arguing in the comments. Well, what about the women? Well, what about the men? Well, what about the women? Well, what about them? What about the men? Or that go both ways. That go both ways. Both sides, that go both ways. And it's like, why we can't just be quiet and get the message that's for us and take that message and be introspective with that message. And when the message is not for us, still be quiet. So who the message is for could get the message. But we can't do that. We don't do that in our society. And that's why we're not making much forward progress. And to be honest with you, I'm going to be honest with you. I could make a lot more noise. I could be a whole lot louder, but I don't like being on camera. I don't like shooting videos. Like every time I do a reel, I delete it because I don't like the way that I look on the camera. I don't like something about my face, so I delete the video. And this is where I learned that ironically, that's a sign to know that you called by God. So to know that the little effort that I give out of reluctancy, it'll go viral. It's really God showing me that, listen, you ordained, and I'm going to spread your message. Even though you don't want to go, I'm going to send you. So that's why when you go look and see, I don't post a reel every day. I'm going to have to force myself to do it because the devil's so loud. So I got to start doing it. I'm going to have to do it because the devil's so loud. And I'm going to have to get out of my own way. I'm going to have to stop judging myself. I'm going to have to stop being such a hard critic on myself. And that's what I'm going to have to do. And just put my little nuggets out there and let them go. Just let them do what they do. And I don't do it because I don't like the camera. Even doing this, I don't like being on live. My channel probably could grow if I do a video, upload it, and then premiere it so it look like it's live. But I don't even like premiering it because I don't like being the premiere. I don't like being the center of attention. And the thing about it is I grew up being the center of attention without wanting to be the center of attention. What I mean by that is I played basketball and football. In basketball, I averaged 20 plus points a game. In football, I averaged 10 plus yards a carry. So I was in the newspaper every day. And I wasn't trying to be. And I remember my math teacher, he said this. He said one thing, his name Mr. Carpenter. I walked into class. He said, one thing I like about Tony is you don't know if he scored 2 points or if he scored 25 points by the way he come in the classroom. And the night before that, I had 25 or 27 points. And I don't like being the center of attention. But see, that's the thing. This is another sign how you're going to tell when somebody is called and somebody just came. Because the people who just came, you're going to see them in the comments of all the blog pages. They're going to be in the comments trying to be seen. But I want you to go to the blog, the gossip blog that you follow on Instagram or that you know of on Instagram. And I want you to click on their post. And I want you to click on the comments. And if you follow me, it's going to show you if I'm in the comments. And I want you to see how many of the gossip posts that I'm in the comments. You're going to see 0. Because I don't clout chase. And that's another telltale sign of who is called and who just came. Because see, a lot of these guys that's out here, they want to be famous. They want to be famous. They want to be known. They want attention. They don't want to make a difference. They want to make noise. But they're making so much noise that it's distracting from those who are called and those who are real. And that's why it's kind of quiet. And the thing about it is, the reason why I don't use custom thumbnails and the reason why I don't fill out the description box and the reason why I don't use keyword tags is because I'm trying to do something that separate me from what the frauds are doing. So if all the frauds is using custom thumbnails, I'm already being lumped in without doing all that. How gimmicky and cheesy am I gonna look if I start doing all of that? Then people gonna be able to definitely say, oh yeah, he one of them fake relationship coaches. He one of them fake life coaches. He one of them scamming life coaches. He probably sleeping with his clients. He probably sleeping with his clients. And then why I try to tell you, if a woman is sleeping with me, and then when I say that, you have idiots. Oh, well, you ain't say if a man sleeping with you. So today, if I said if a man or woman is sleeping with me, oh well, you ain't say if a dog sleeping with you, because it's men who sleep with dogs. It's like you can't win for losing today. I'll tell you like this right here. If anybody is sleeping with me, come on out. Come out and I'll give you $10 million. Listen, anybody sleep with me, come out, expose me for sleeping with me. And anybody I'm having an affair with, come on out and I'm gonna give you $10 million. You ride off into the sunset. Come on out with the receipts, with the pictures. I said that on the Breakfast Club because I know how I live my life. I know how I live my life. If I'm an introvert, I'm an introvert. People who know me in person, people online, they can't believe I'm an introvert. People who know me in person know that I'm an introvert. A lot of times people meet me in person and they say, wow, Tony, you are shy. You said you were shy. I ain't believe it because of how you shoot your video. I do this under the anointing of God. This is not what I want to do. I want to be laid up somewhere on somebody's beach. I don't want to be on here on nobody's camera. But I have to do this because God gave me wisdom that I have to share because it's so much ignorance being shared. So I got to go. I got to go. I got to do it. I don't want to do it. So I want you to understand that I'll say stuff like that because me being an introvert, me not liking the limelight, me not wanting to be seen, I'm not going to come out here and make noise if I'm cheating on my wife. My mistakes is in my past. That's why I couldn't understand why Buddy got to the height of his brand, got to the height of his career to be cheating on his wife. I'm like, honestly, as a man and knowing men, I could have understood it if he cheated on his wife at the infancy of his brand, when he still was learning and growing and becoming a man, or when he first blew up. I could have understood as a man, even though it's still wrong. I could have understood it more like, oh, he knew to celebrity. He knew to attention. So he cheated. That's what everybody go through. We all go through trials and we all go through periods to where when we go to a new level, we meet a new devil. And some of us at some times lose to that new devil. But guess what? When you're working for God, God gonna build you slowly because God know every man falls short of his glory. So God not gonna take someone from 0 to 1 million overnight because God know we're going to trip and fall. But that is covered by grace. Grace covers a multitude of sin. So a lot of times when people look and people say, well, Tony, why such this coach and this coach got more subscribers than you, more followers than you on Instagram? 1, I don't clout chase. 2, I don't play to the algorithm. And 3, I work for God. For real. So God ain't gonna move me too fast because he give me the time to say the stupid stuff, to get the mistakes out the way, to learn from my mistakes. And then when I get it together and I got everything in order and I got my life in order in every area, including financially, because when I say financially, you still got taxes, you got credit, you got homeowners stuff. So I got to have my life together in every area, because if God take me to number 1, my life is going to be put under a microscope and I'm going to be scrutinized in every single area. So if they can't find me cheating on my wife, they'll try to find something on my taxes. They'll try to find something in my business. They'll try to find something with my house. They'll try to find something in another area just to say, he got this right here that's wrong. Because the adversary have to try to expose a light. Anybody that God send, the adversary going to send immense spiritual warfare to break them down, to tear them down, and to destroy their mission and their message. So that's why when you're working for God, He's going to take and move you slowly. You're going to be in the climb, and you got to climb. Ain't no throwing no rope. Because listen, you got to think about it like this right here. Why you think ain't nobody that got a TV show or a radio show done reached out to me and put me on? Because God ain't authorized it. He ain't authorized it because he's saying, listen, I want you to build. I'm going to build you on my time. I'm going to build you slowly. I'm going to build you to where can't no man say you owe him. Can't no man say he made you. God don't get no glory in that story if a man get put on by another man. Because then that man going to always be able to stand before God, stand in front of God and take God glory and say, I made him because I put him on. So that's why God ain't touched now person heart to come and put me on and put me in position, because God building me. And even when God building, this how I know that I got to get things in order, because God blessed me to earn 7 figures. You know what 7 figures is? It's $1 million plus. God blessed me to earn 7 figures without trying hard, without using custom thumbnails, without using a description box, without using keyword tags, without using paid advertising, without using paid endorsements, paid shout outs, without commenting on the gossip blog posts, every post, trying to be seen, trying to get followers. So if God will bless me without even using the tricks of the trade, without even using best practices, without getting a stamp from a mega celebrity, like without having the stamp of this famous comedian who also is a mentor or speaker, or this famous TV host, or this famous athlete, or this famous person. If God will bless me to earn 7 figures a year with none of that, where you think my finances going to be at when God take and elevate me to where he want me to be? So what he's saying is, if you working for me, I'm going to take and bless you without it even looking like you trying. That's how God do you. To where I don't have to have gimmicks. I ain't got to lie to nobody. I seen guys, they charging $3,500 for their online courses. They charging $2,500 for their online courses. And I got 10 times more experience, 10 times the respect, and I'm charging a fraction of the cost. Because when you work for God, you don't have to have gimmicks. When you work for God, you don't have to beat somebody across the head with a price. So I could sell a course for $5. I could do a class for $25. I seen the one the podcast, people was complaining because the podcast took and did a virtual class on Zoom and they charged $600 for a ticket. I'm doing classes and I'm charging $25 for the ticket. Just to keep the bots and to keep the trolls out. Basically just to make a hater and a troll have to pay $25 if they want to come in there and mess stuff up. And also to have people that I know really rock with me and support me, but it's $25. So when you're working for God, you don't need gimmicks. I don't need to go to the blog page, the gossip blog, and comment on their posts for clout. I don't need to use custom thumbnails to get hundreds of thousands of subscribers. All I got to do is share the message that God gave me. And this is a cry and a message to the frontliners. If God has called you, do it the way God has told you to do it, and don't do it the way man has told you to do it. Don't mimic the world. See, if I was a Christian artist, my music would not sound like the world music. The world music would sound like my music, because I will go to God until God give me a melody, until God give me a rhythm, until God give me a beat, until God give me a verse, and then I will only produce that. When you look at a lot of Christian music today, Christian music is emulating secular demonic music, and we ain't even drawing no line. And I'm gonna tell you, with the devil, ain't nobody off limits. Ain't nobody off limits. Ain't nobody off limits. It's a lot of so-called Christians that's dealing and diving in and indulging in demonic music, demonic TV shows, and all of that. Like, I went on a show as a Christian, and I had to stand up as a Christian. It was certain things I said, listen, I can't do this as a Christian. I don't care about what y'all done paid me. I don't care about this opportunity. I care more about God. So if me standing up for what I believe in gonna cost me this opportunity, you can have your, that's not, it ain't an opportunity. That's a snare. That's a trap. That ain't no opportunity. So I had to stand on what I stand on. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, is that when God in it, and see, this how people cannot see the real from the fake because we don't have discernment. So how you think if somebody fake, they're not going to be able to come on YouTube and not play by YouTube rules and get hundreds of thousands of subscribers? If somebody is fake, they got to come on here and use custom thumbnails, use the description box, use keyword tags. Every video, they got to have an intro that say, hey, thank you for coming on this video. Hit like, share, subscribe. I don't even know how to say it because I never say it. Go back and watch my videos, and you'll be able to count on one hand how many times I say, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. But if you know YouTube and you watch YouTube, you'll know that 9 out of 10 people on YouTube tell you every video to hit the like, share, subscribe. I don't never say that. You know why? Because I'm depending on God. Lord, grow me, expose me, build me at the rate you want me to grow. I don't want to grow because I told somebody, make me big. I watch people lives and they be so caught up in how many likes they got, to the point that my moderators sometimes will tell people, get the likes up, because they so used to seeing other YouTubers care about that. But y'all don't ever hear me say, we got X amount of people on here and we only got X amount of likes. Like on this here system right here that I'm on, I don't even know how to see. I don't even know where the likes at. But I don't beg for likes. I don't beg for subscribers. I don't beg for shares. I don't beg for new members. Like I got memberships with the Blessed Tribe. Having that Blessed Tribe membership, I'm supposed to mention that every video. I never mention it because I am bent on being built at God's pace. And that's what I want you to understand. That's a sign right there, because I have to paint this for you and make this clear, because people don't have discernment today. People can't tell the difference between the real and the fake. Like, people should be able to easily see, man, Tony don't do this. Like, it's people who go live every day. Every single day. I'm supposed to be going live once a week. I barely do that. I got a membership that earned me good money that I'm ready to cancel. that I set it up for just this year versus ongoing for 2024. I have to relaunch it in 2024. The Growth Club. I didn't set the subscription to be forever. I set it for 2024. I mean 2023. And this is income. And I talked to one of my coaches and we were talking about how even though I'm making money by doing a mastermind, I don't even want to do it. Even though it's one video a month, I don't even want to do that because I don't like routine and I don't like being on the camera. But I have to force myself to get on the camera. But here's the thing. We have so many fakes and frauds that when I say that, people don't even believe it. They don't even believe it until they meet me in person and realize that I'm not the life of the party. Realize that I don't try to draw no attention to myself. And see, this is the thing what we have to understand. So that's why because I'm like that, when I coach a client and they say, Tony, I do not like social media. Tony, I do not want to be on camera. Tony, I do not want to do this. Tony, I do not want to do that. I say, that's how you know you call. Because God does not call anybody who is desperate for attention. God does not call anybody who is desperate to be famous. God does not call anybody who is going to go out of their way and be desperate to be known and to be seen. New York City, I'm going to be there this Saturday. I need to tell y'all that out of obligation because it's this young man event. And I told him I'm going to help him, get some folks out. New York City, you'll see the link on my bio on Instagram and on the community page on here. You'll see the link. What did he say? I saw a dude on TikTok do that the other day. Said, all right, so since y'all not sending a gift, I'm shutting the live down in 10 minutes. Exactly. I be seeing that. Like, listen, I'm on here right now, right? What you see on here? TonyGassisAcademy.com. When you go on almost any other YouTuber page, you're going to see they cash out. On their video, you're going to see they Venmo. You're going to see they PayPal. You're going to see it on the video. You're going to see it in the description. One of my moderators got my cash out a long time ago. And I don't tell them, I don't know them personally. We not on text message. I don't tell them when I'm going live. I don't tell them what to post. They found out my cash out and they post my cash out by themselves. I don't tell them, hey, y'all post my cash out. Hey, y'all post my cash out. What's going on now? They will post it on their own. But even though they post my cash out, you have never on one single video heard me ask somebody, hey, y'all send me a donation. Hey, y'all send me a cash out. Hey, y'all, please donate to support the channel. And now when we was in C19, boy, people had all kind of checks. I come on here and people just be donate. Y'all notice it ain't been one donation right tonight. You know why? We in a recession, but the news can't talk about it. Biden ain't gonna let them talk about it because they're gonna make his presidency look bad. We in a recession right now. So me knowing that, what I took and did, I took my life coach certification course that was $1,500 and I made it $400 because people still trying to build a brand. People still want to add a stream of income. So because we in a recession, I took and made the course right now. The life coach certification is $400 when it was $1,500. When people who don't have my success as a coach, who don't have my experience as a coach, charging $5,000 for their life coach training. $5,000. And my training right now is on TonyGassisAcademy.com for $400. And even doing that, people still is too blind to see the difference between the real and the fake. People still too blind to see the difference between who doing what they do for money and who doing what they do out of purpose. and trusting God to make up the difference. I had to go off on some idiots the other day because they were talking about, oh, you just doing it for money. Oh, you just doing it for money. Not realizing that relationship coaching does not make money. It don't make money. Now, YouTube could make money, but I don't just do relationship videos. So, but somebody who only do relationship videos and they got a big YouTube, they might be making some money, but we still don't know that because everybody got a different pay rate, depending on a lot of different factors that nobody got control over but YouTube. So you could get a video with 1 million views and you could make $100. So it still could turn into no money. So that's what people don't understand. So guess what? Because I know relationship coaching will not feed my family, I had to build business. I had to create multiple streams of income. I had to teach on everything that God teach me. I got to teach on it all. Life, love, and business. And I got to roll out several different programs because I can't depend on no relationship coaching. I'm doing that out of passion. That I'll be in the po house. But then they'll take and see a scam artist. They'll see a fraudster looking like they make money. But what you have to realize is everything you see is not real. So what you have to understand is just because a relationship coach have a Lamborghini don't mean this person did not build business credit and go get that car in a business name with an 850 credit score. If you have an 850 credit score and you've had some car loans, or if you got a large down payment, people like when I when I was a relationship coach, when I first started doing relationship coaching, I was making $9.50 an hour on my job, and I was a relationship coach. And I did a business deal. After I started building my brand, I did a business deal for about $1.1 million, where it was like a investment and a loan. And it was almost $1.1 million. And out of that 1.1 million, I got to spend about 800,000 of it. I believe it was. And out of that 800,000 that I got to spend, I was able to buy a house, buy a Rolex, and put down on a Maserati. This was a business deal. It had nothing to do with relationship coaching. This was somebody, a friend of mine, betting on me. And guess what? People online saw the Maserati stitching in behind my head, and they assumed it came from relationship coaching. They did not know it was from a business deal for my film company, Gaskins Productions. So people saw me talking on relationships, which was my passion. And they saw a Maserati and they was like, oh, I can make money being a relationship coach. People believe what they see. So that's why these young men started to think, oh, that's from that. And then people look and see me in a suite. Got a suite at the Tampa Bay Bucs Stadium watching Tom Brady. My logo on the wall that I own a suite at the stadium. They see me in a Mercedes Sprinter, not realizing that I am a ghostwriter and also a business consultant. When I ghostwrite a book, I wrote my book in 2 days. Every book I wrote, I've written it in 1 week. When I ghostwrite a book, I write my client's book in 3 days. I tell them, give me 6 months, but after I record their story, I write their book in 3 days, and I get paid $10,000 or more. People don't even know that because I don't promote that. Then I train life coaches. I don't train relationship coaches. I train life coaches. So I've trained over 3,000 life coaches. The average cost of the course is $500. My goal is to train 1,000 coaches a year. If I hit my goal of training 1,000 coaches and I charge $500, that's $500,000. But see, people will look and they will see the fruits of success. So this is what the idiot boys, they go to my page and they scroll through my page and they see me in my suite. They see me in the Mercedes Sprinter. They see me in a Bentley. They see me in a G-Wagon. They see me in an Escalade. They see me in a Maserati. They see me on a private jet. And they're like, well, whoa, all this come from relationship coaching? No, you can't make no money as no relationship coach. Because when you a relationship coach, you coaching you by the hour. You only got so many time in an hour. So you have to learn how to build business. You got to learn how to scale. So what I had to build is TonyGassacademy.com. When you go to TonyGassacademy.com, you will see that my breadwinning courses are business courses. How to be an entrepreneur, how to be a speaker, how to be an author, how to be a life coach. The relationship courses are $15, $5, or free. And see, this is where we lack discernment. And so this is why the industry, it take a black eye, because people will see trappings of success and think that all of that comes from men giving advice to women on love and relationships. Not realize that a lot of these people out here, they doing business credit. A lot of these people doing credit card fraud. A lot of these people doing all kind of loans. A lot of these people doing all kind of stuff that ain't got nothing to do with their coaching business. Ain't got nothing to do with relationships. A lot of these people living off a woman who make six figures and got good credit, or living with their mama and taking their YouTube money and buying all this nice stuff. And that's right there what's killing the industry, is people assuming that people are getting rich and don't even know what money is and what rich is. Instead of listening to the message to see who message is consistent, who message is thorough, who message is real, and who not begging, who's not gaslighting, who's not trying to set people up for the okie doke, and paying attention to that over time. And so it be frustrating me when people can't tell the real from the fake. When they'll come and see that I've been married over 16 years and my mistakes of my past, I teach on those mistakes. I minister on those mistakes. Ain't had a single scandal, because when I'm growing in my life, I didn't allow myself as a married man to get messy and to get out there in the streets and to go to starting affairs and to be juggling women and to be doing all of that. Yeah, I was tempted. Yeah, I went through the same temptation every man go through. Yeah, I had moments where I'm like, whoo, boy, I could lose it all, boy. I could slip and fall. But I held myself accountable. And by keeping myself in check, that's how I've been married for over 16 years in the public and not having scandal after scandal after scandal. Because you see pastors get up and be known for 5 years and be in a scandal already in 5 years. I done been online and in the top 100 of black men online since 2010. That's 13 years. And ain't had a single scandal come out of me being in some type of long-term affair and juggling this woman and juggling that woman. But yet people will take and put my name in the same sentence with somebody who been on the scene for 5 years and already got caught up in some mess. And that's just the lack of discernment that we have. And that's why we cannot grow as a people, because we have such a poor self-image of ourselves that when we see a healthy image, we can't even believe it. We're like, oh no, this can't be real. A faithful black man? Oh no, that got to be fake. It got to be something. It got to be a side chick somewhere that ain't saying nothing. A faithful black man. Like, we hate ourselves that much that we can't even believe healthy examples of black men and women. Oh no, something got to be going on. Oh no, something got to be in the water. And that's sad. That's sad. When we ought to be innocent until proven guilty. When we ought to be able to be listened to and respected without being cyberbullied and without being talked down to and talked about until we show ourselves to be a fraud. But we just coming out and just automatically being wrote off as a fraud and ain't had a single scandal. And when people could go, for me personally, people could go to Amazon and type in Tony Gaskin and could pull up my books, could go Google me and go to my Twitter and see that I've been online on Twitter since 2009 in the public eye. Facebook since 2007 or 2005 or whenever it came out in the public eye, without having scandal. But yet, he must be just like such and such. Oh, because such and such cheated. So that means him and all of them cheated. If this one over here cheated, and that's the idiocracy. But hey, listen to me, man. I'm supposed to be on here 1 hour. That's why I'm like getting on here. Supposed to be on here 1 hour. I'm trying to get home and see my wife. She probably went to sleep. So listen to me. Right, go ahead and get this thing together. Hey, this Tony Gas in New York City. I'll be there this Saturday, coming in town for somebody's event, relationship event, singles and couples. If you buy your ticket for Saturday, New York, it's on my social media and stuff. If you buy your ticket, send me a message. So I'll be looking out for you so that I know that you're coming. God bless you. Or send me an email, support@tonygas.com. God bless you. We'll talk soon. Oh, thank you to my moderators now. Thank you to the moderator helping me in that chat. Really appreciate y'all helping out over there. God bless y'all. Oh boy. Got my dinner here. I ain't ate dinner. I'll eat dinner 12:30 a.m.